As-salamu alaikum, sister. Thank you for writing to our live session. I am really sorry to hear what's going on with a sister who is facing abuse in her marriage. According to what you had written, she confided in you what was going on, and your husband and you immediately sought to find support for her from the Muslim community. And she told you that her husband left her when she was 2 months pregnant. He just left, didn't say anything. Her son is now a year old, and the husband is physically and mentally abusing her as well. She has witnesses to the abuse. However, they're still not together, which, is good, because if she's being abused, she doesn't want to be with him, right? Sadly, domestic violence is common globally. I mean, it's such a horrific situation in marriages, and as you know, it is highly haram and it's a sin in Islam. That's the first thing that the imam should have told her, that she spoke with at the masjid, I believe in Mexico, you said. You're wondering if the masjid and the imam and the Muslim community has done all it could to help her. And, there's conflicting information. Like, you stated that the imam told her that she should leave him, but yet she shouldn't get divorced. So possibly the imam is not having a clear sense of what's truly going on in that relationship. Because if a woman's being abused, it's the imam needs to tell her to leave and, divorce. Because usually in situations where a man is abusive, it takes a long time for the man, if he's even willing, to go through anger management classes, to go through counseling, to address his own trauma and his own issues, which caused abuse in the first place. And that usually goes back generational. Usually a lot of men who abuse women have seen their mothers be abused, and their fathers were abusive, and so forth. So in situations like this, like me, myself, personally, I can't have a clear conscience and recommend that a woman go back into an abusive relationship, even after the man has gone through counseling, because many times they revert back to their abusive states. With that said, what the masjid can do beyond counseling her or advising her Islamically is helping her get set up in a place of her own with her child, provide resources that she may need, to live and provide for her child, such as maybe a job, maybe food packages, maybe some charity for helping with expenses for diapers and rent and things like that. Also, in some Muslim communities, if a man is beating his wife, yes, there are Muslim brothers who will go out and find this man and literally set him straight. Not that they want him to go back to the woman, no, but they do deal with that man. In this case, it seems like, they have chosen not to do that, which is fine too, as long as they can be supportive of her. As far as his sister goes, I'm really not clear, based on your question, if she's living with him or she's living somewhere else. But I highly suggest, Insha'Allah, if she is still with him, that she does leave and find somewhere else to live. Whether that's contacting another Islamic community outside of Mexico, somewhere else where she may be sponsored to go and live to get away from the danger. That may be a possibility. Yeah, so you just might want to talk about that with her, because her and her child's safety is number one. And number two is that this definitely is not an Islamic marriage. It is not an Islamic situation, and Allah is adamantly angered and against domestic violence and oppression against women. I'm really sorry to hear what is going on. However, sister, what you also may want to suggest is that that this sister does contact the police and file a report and possibly a restraining order. I'm not sure how it works in Mexico. But if he is threatening her, that is very serious. And that does need to come to the attention of the authorities so she can get any protection that she can legally and from the police. Is this, these threats are to be taken serious. And that's kind of like another reason maybe to reach out to other masjids. Perhaps the imam at the masjid there knows of other masjids or communities that she might be able to go to, that people can help her resettle and restart her life. Because if he's there and he's threatening to kill her, that is a very, very dangerous situation. And it doesn't sound like it is one that can be easily addressed or rectified, given that it's a small town and given the circumstances of the sister. The way you can support her is by listening to her, encouraging her to move forward, encouraging her to be safe and to be mindful of her surroundings and to stand firm on the foundation of Islam and what a marriage is supposed to be, and to not go back to him, and to, Insha'Allah, try to network along with you and other sisters in the masjid who may be able to help her, network for more support, financially, socially, as well as protection, and encourage her, to trust in the law, that when she's finally out of the situation and her child are safe, that Insha'Allah, Allah will bless her immensely with happiness, safety, and a good life. Being encouraging and encouraging her to do self-help activities, such as taking the time to pray, regularly, do zikr, read the Quran, exercise, eat healthy foods, engage in a hobby, things that will help her get her mind off of the situation. Like, you don't want her to totally be consumed with this 24/7. She's going to need a balance. She's going to need other things in her life that bring her joy and happiness, because the situation is grave and the situation is of concern and it needs to be addressed. However, she does need to have points in her life that she could go to find peace, happiness, and to begin the healing process. Lastly, if there's any counselors in your area, I would highly suggest and recommend that, Insha'Allah, she does seek out counseling that can help her on her path to leaving him and staying safe, as well as contacting any organizations or hotlines out there that deal with domestic violence situations. So I'm encouraging you to rely on not only the masjid and the community for help and assistance with this, but also outside of the Islamic community, right? Because there may be organizations out there that can help her more efficiently and faster than the Islamic community, just for the fact that they may be nonprofits and have more access to finances and ways to get her to safety. So you are in my prayers. She's in my prayers. Please, do to continue to encourage her and be the wonderful sister to her that you have been. We wish you both the best.